All right, Miss Angela, thank you so much for coming in and just sharing behind the scenes of your recent awesome launch that you're truly in the middle of still at this moment. But we really appreciate you coming in. So tell everyone, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, ladies, and few gents if you happen to be watching. I am Angela E. Matthews, and I am the ambassador for financial freedom when it comes to leveraging the stock market. So I
Mm.
teach folks how to invest in the stock market with very simple, easy to do steps.
Yes, that's awesome. And Angela is such a beast at what she does. Okay. I've had a pleasure of sitting in on some of her webinars. She's been part of the Wealth Builder Summit. That was a whole beautiful movement last year in 2017. And yes, she's just so dope. Okay. So definitely stick in so you can hear about some of her biggest accomplishments. 50K, right? 50K that
Yeah.
you've accomplished in what, the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
Yep, just about definitely over the last 8 weeks for sure.
8 weeks.
The
Okay,
big
yes.
bulk of that coming in
Yes.
towards the last 4 to 5 weeks. So you're
Yes.
absolutely right about that.
That is so great. 50K basically in 8 weeks. So tell everyone, how did you approach that? And what was like the first step for you to even get towards this beautiful results that you've
Yeah.
attained so far?
So for me, the first step was actually carving out time and
Yeah.
resources for me to
Yeah.
make that happen. And so I actually have been on maternity leave for the past 8 months. And
Wow.
so as a business owner, it's amazing. You get to make the
Yeah.
call. Hey, do I want to go back to work when something happens, or do I want to just stay?
Yeah.
Why? Because you actually have to write into anyone requesting time off, right? You're writing to yourself as your own CEO. And so of course you're going to
Yeah.
approve it as your own CEO.
That's right. Hey, Queen Boss
You're like,
mode.
yeah, you want to go around the world, go for it,
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened. And at a point, I realized that I'm stagnant. And though I love giving in this one way to this one beautiful person, I
Yeah.
feel as if I could do so much more in terms of giving to not only myself, but my peers and my community. And
Wow.
so after realizing that I had these emotions coming up, I had to um, reconcile that with, of course, the hijacking of emotions in terms of having to take care of somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And so saying, it's okay. There are women out here who would love to have the opportunity to stay home with their kids.
That's
And for
right.
me,
That's right.
I was wondering, like, does this mean that I'm ungrateful? Does this mean that
Yeah. That's
I don't
good.
appreciate being a mother if I actually want to go back to work?
Yeah.
And so once I
Mm.
figured that out, and you'll see that a lot of my journey has been intertwined with personal growth as well, which has
Hmm.
really helped me to break the barriers to get to the 50K. But
That's
I'm just
right.
having a real conversation about this is really what was happening over the few weeks. And so
Yeah.
anyway, I ended up getting help and support around that feeling.
Mm.
And then I got that. And then I decided to, okay, start making a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And I started talking to folks and interviewing coaches because I realized that I'm going to need someone to literally pull me up for the power they see inside of me, even though right now I can't see it myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah. And then that's when I actually found Erica.
Mhm.
Around that point, I had put feelers out there. And so it's been, when there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
That is so true. Yep. So true.
Yes. And so if you're not ready to make a lot of money or to
Yeah.
break through things, guess what? You're not going to have the folks show up on your pathway. And the
Boom.
fact that they
Yeah.
are showing up on your pathway is a signal to you that maybe you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Good.
that's kind of
Setting the
how it
intention,
all
right?
started.
Yeah.
That's how it all started bubbling up.
It did. Wow. And that's so freaking amazing. And it's just so many things you just said that I really feel like a woman can truly relate to that's been struggling as far as definitely coming from a maternity leave. I think that's a big piece for most women. And there's so many emotions that can go through it. I haven't been a mom, but the thing is I've seen and served so many queens that it's such a process and a transition to like get back in your groove, right? I was thinking about myself when I was going to the gym last week, and I was going consistently, and then all the travel started, and now the groove is kind of been, pulled back. So little. That's little compared to becoming a mom, but it's a transition. So thank you for sharing that, for women to see. Okay, I can bounce back. I can do that.
Absolutely.
Even if it's not pregnancy, I could
I
bounce
was
back.
just about to say that. Even
Yeah.
if it's not pregnancy, literally a bounce back comes from anything. It can come from
Yes.
a breakup. It could come from a loss in job. It could come from
Yes.
an ending of any form of relationship or friendship. It can come
Wow.
from just a loss of anything. Literally, it's just a broken, it's just a fracture within what
Yeah.
you view yourself as. And it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a negative thing either, right?
Yeah.
And so just using that energy, identifying and recognizing the feelings within yourself,
Yeah.
releasing the emotion, whatever the animosity could be, the doubt, the guilt, the story behind it, and really just saying, you know what, I'm still going to stand for the future me.
That's right. And going back to that intention, right? That the power of that intention of you saying that I am a vessel here to make sure that people can live a life of ultimate freedom.
Absolutely. And who's getting impacted while I'm in my stuff?
That's right.
No one by me.
Yeah. That's so cool. So the piece that you were saying about when you made that intention to hire a coach, what was some of your like hesitations about that? Like, you know, everybody has these fears when investing. I know I felt them. So can you share with everyone that what you felt exactly before you hit that button? Like, okay, I'm doing it.
Exactly, of course. And so for me, I thought about multiple things in terms of, hey, how am I, this is something I want to do.
Yeah.
How am I going to go to my partner and talk about it, because it is a life decision. And I don't look at it in terms of as getting permission from my partner. It's not that at all. It's just that when you're in a partnership, your lives are so intertwined that you want to make sure that they're on board for whatever it is that you're doing. Even if you're the captain of the ship, you got to make sure the passengers are like okay with the destination.
I like that analogy. Very good. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big analogy queen. So for me, that was important, getting my husband on board, right? And first it was me getting myself on board. And I got that when I did my internal checks of, yes, outside support is needed right now, or appreciated. Yeah. And then getting him to understand that I need outside support too, which is another conversation of like, well, hey, if you're checking in with your partners in life, they're going to also feel like, well, am I not enough to help you with this? Or are you not enough to help you with this, considering you've done it before? Because for me, I've had launches in the past, and it hasn't been 50K in 8 weeks, but I did have like, say, 25K or 27. I had my first big launch was like 13,500. So I get the launching thing. And how do you get someone to see you for even more than that, right? My husband's like, well, can't you just do like another 20? Like, I'm okay with 20.
Yeah, he's like,
and I'm like, yeah, like I'll take that. You did that before, just do it again. And I'm like, he's like, well, heck, I'll even take 10. And I'm like, well, this daycare bill be looking like this. Yeah. So I'm not okay with that, right? I'm not going to be working just to fulfill a daycare bill, which is what I was trying to actually start doing. I knew I had to put my daughter in daycare. So when it came up to the actual investment to work with someone, I thought like, well, and I was so frank with Erica. I was like, girl, this is like daycare for like, like 3 months, right? Yeah. And like, I was so frank. And I'm like, and not that I don't get it. I totally want it, but we're still going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to figure out how to make that.
That's right.
And so working with that, and Erica literally gave me like a few, like literally just like 2 or 3 things, which I immediately put into effect, right? I literally, immediately, I was like, all right, you know what? You want to be my coach? All right, let me just try something that you say. And Erica, damn, I got so excited the Aaron fell off. But I know
you do that to people.
The real world. I'm sure there's no editing here, so y'all gonna see that.
No editing, none.
So this is like real. I'm like, things are going off. Anyway,
that's okay.
Most of the universe is like, hey, she about to break it down into something.
Yeah.
And I am. So what you really have to do is, if you're wanting to work with someone, people who are coaches and people who are super passionate about helping people, they will tell you this stuff regardless of whether you work with them or not, because they can't breathe without saying it, right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of how Erica is, right?
That's
how
true. Thank you. That's true.
Aligned. Like, it's as easy as breathing. Like the downloads, the insights that come, it's like if you hold it in, it almost like chokes you up. So you have to say it and get it out. So just pick 1 or 2 things to actually do. And so that's what I did with Erica. I picked 1 or 2 things she told me to do. And I was like, you know what? I want to take a long-term relationship here, but let's just see what it looks like to do it just with whatever you say. And so I did it, and it had huge results. Literally, just her even just walking through my site. I remember this. traveling, and I'm sitting down, I'm not even home. I'm somebody else's home. And I'm like, I'm about to go on this big interview and my site is not converting. I had already done a couple of interviews. Remember this? And I was just like, can you help me please just figure this out? Yep. And she just like hacked at it. And we spoke about it for just a few minutes and then it worked out. Right. And so just from that one fix, I literally closed about like 5,000 or like 4,500, 5,000, right?
Cash.
It's definitely cash, right? Like,
and it was passive income.
It was, and it was passive because it was just them getting to my page faster, right? And so, and I'm being extremely clear on my deliverable. And so with that one change, it was like, you know what? Done. Message received from God. This is the path. Daycare bill paid. Let's now see what else we can create. And so for me, that's really how I overcame the conversation about the investment, because it is still an investment. And for me, it was the biggest investment I've ever done in my business. And it's like, why not get a VA? Why not do this? And for me, it's really understanding that as the top and the figurehead of my company, that it has to start with me and then it trickles down. I can't start from the bottom and then hope that, a VA will help and all these things will help from that. But if I don't understand, again, like to the captain of the ship analogy, if you don't understand how to move your ship, how to steer your ship, it doesn't matter who you have in it. You're not going to get to the destination.
That's so true. Thank you for sharing all of that. That's amazing.
Sorry, I know that was a long.
No, I love it though, because it really breaks it down for the individual that's like sitting on the fence. I come across women a lot that's never really heavily invested in themselves. They may have done a course or done something, but like really putting that premium dollar up there so that they can start opening themselves up for premium dollars. It's a shift. and I'm so glad you explained that to them so they can really understand that, like, comparing it to your daycare bill and their hesitations and testing. That's a critical piece. Don't just hire coaches just because. Test what they're giving you. Test their freebies. Test whatever they got going on so you can see if this is really working for you, right? Because every coach is not for everyone either, it's like a spiritual, energetic connection. I really look at it like that. And I know that's a little woo-woo, but it's really my personal truth. We all have soul clients and we have soul mentors, And so I'm glad that we've connected, and Angela's just so amazing to work with. She's just a firecracker, man. She just be showing up and doing it. She does the work. She puts the work in, okay? So that's great.
That's absolutely it. And you want folks that put the work in. And so I'm really clear that however you treat the people that you decide to work with, that's how the people who are exact conversation they're gonna have when they're working with you, right? Exactly. And so you want to have action takers, Yes. And I know for me, it wasn't necessarily saying like, hey, I am going to sign up right away and do this, but I still needed to take action, right? And so you needed to take action, and that action actually allowed me to take bigger action. And so even still, when you're creating your products and you're thinking about, hey, is this person going to do what I'm doing? You need to think back about how you've been treating the people that you're working with in your life. Did you take action right away? Did you actually implement the stuff that they told you to implement? Because if you're trying to get clients and you're trying to do that stuff, you want to attract the right kind of client, and you're going to attract exactly what you are. And though you can't change them, you can change you.
That's right.
And that's the quickest way to change and to like up-level your kind of client is to do the things that you're telling them to do. If it's taking action, you find something to take action in. Hey, try a new strategy, you find a new strategy, right? Because that's the best way to energetically, like Erica's saying, there's soul clients and soul teachers. Word to word is nothing matched to the power of energy.
So powerful, so powerful. And it's the truth. And so I'm hoping you ladies really hearing this and taking this in right now, because this is a powerful message that can be applied to every industry, regardless if you're a book coach, health coach, personal stylist, accountant, you name it, business coach, whatever, service provider, marketing, tech, whatever it is. This all applies the same way across the board, right, Angela? Like, it just applies. So I want you to talk about maybe some of the potential obstacles. Well, not even potential, some of the obstacles that you had to go through to get to that 50K. If you're willing to talk about that, what is the one of the biggest things you felt like you had to overcome to hit 50K? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever that may be.
Oh my God, geez Louise, there's so many. I'm like, but I'll pick one. And there's so many just because we're so faceted. To be honest, it's not so many just because like we're human, right? On the human experience, right? And so things come up as you've been a human in the human experience. There are things that say you can deal with in the present moment or in the past. And depending on, say, when you're launching, emotions will come up and you have to handle those emotions, right? It's almost like the little kid who's like, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. And you're like, over there, sit down in the corner, hush up, mama's doing something big. Or like, doing something big, right? And then all of a sudden the kid gets even bigger, and now it's not a kid anymore. It's like a teenager now. No, listen to me, listen to me. And then all of a sudden they get even bigger, and it's like, no, listen to me now. And you're like, okay. What you want me to help you with, right? And so for me, this showed up in terms of grief. And this was something just like last week, guys. This is like, as Erica said, this is kind of something that's in real time, still going through my launch. And this is when I was really thankful to have a coach, right? Because I could have spoken about this with somebody else, but as a business owner and as a leader in your community, you don't want to necessarily open up to everyone, because not that it's a sign of weakness, which is, I understand is like, a work through right now for me is like showing my humanity. But also when you're in a launch, you want to be really cognizant of staying in that leadership role.
That's right.
Right. And you don't want something to sabotage that leadership role. No. And so you can't say open up and do like a live where you're crying, which is totally some people's thing. But for me, I'm saying if I'm helping someone pull them up through their situation, it is not necessarily empowering in the moment that I'm trying to get them to enroll in my course to show them that part. And after, so that they can see this is how I overcame it.
That's right.
But not during it. Correct. And so having a coach in this moment, guys, it was the fact that I was actually grieving. And my dad had passed away maybe like 3 years ago, but it's a very sore topic with me. It's something that I don't really talk about often, because as an investor, one of the reasons why I'm so thankful for being an investor is because I actually liquidated some of my investments when I was taking care of my dad. Wow. And it's such a raw topic. I still don't even talk about it. But in these moments when I'm elevating and I'm soaring and I'm reaching these new heights, right, it's very clear who's not here with me. And whether you've lost someone or you didn't lose someone, there's always a vision of who's going to be at the finish line with you. And as you get closer to the finish line, you start looking in the distance. You're like, I don't see that person I thought was going to be there. And for me, as I am getting closer to the finish line, I have to deal with the fact that there's this one key person that I really thought was going to be there. That isn't in the way I thought he was going to be. Right. And so this actually came up like, I was just going to be like, you know what? I'm done. Launch done, close up. It's a week early. I made money. We're good. Like, And I saw this coming up, and I spoke to Erica about it because I knew that I just kept on pushing it aside. Like a little kid, get back. And so being a giant. And so I just want to say that, sometimes things come up, right? When you're in a launch, there are going to be parts of yourself, and it's not that it's self-sabotage, it's really to protect you, right? And so seeing that and understanding that, this missingness of my father not being there to celebrate with me was my way of saying, I know that you are going to feel this hurt the closer you get to the finish line. So maybe let's not get to the finish line so that we cannot feel this pain. And it had to be me, talking to Erica, talking to myself, sitting in my closet, in my quiet space, saying, it's okay. I can go through the pain. I'm not going to die, right? Because sometimes we associate these pains with like death, and like, it literally feels so scary that you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And for me, for you, it could be like doing a Facebook Live, like, oh my God, I'm going to die, right? You're going to be okay. Have that conversation with yourself. So I know it's a long-winded example, but for me, that's a really big thing. So
and
just
that's
push
so good.
and have a conversation.
And just talking about it, releasing that, right? Like opening up more space to receive more too. And not just money, but our whole journey here, as you said at the beginning, it's interlocked with our lifestyle. It's all interlocked. So it's not just receiving money, it's receiving abundance, it's receiving fulfillment, purpose, all these things. So I'm so proud of Angela for releasing this. And I'm also very thankful that she was open enough to share with you queens about this very raw topic in her life. It's not a very easy thing for her to talk about, and she's sharing it with you. So, really be thankful of that.
I know. I'm not blasting it on the social. I already done told you guys about my philosophy mid-launch with social. So you already know I'm not blasting. I may mention it after the launch closes up, but
Yeah,
you're definitely getting an insight.
this is good.
And right even before I close that one facet up for you guys, what's really interesting is you may feel wounded or open or vulnerable and dealing with something, but your answer literally is like next to you. And so even this weekend, I told you guys I was experiencing this last week. And this weekend I was with my husband, and two times the man said something to me. He's literally like, hey, he's like, I'm proud of you. He just flat said it. And this is the person who I was like defending daycare bills with too. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he was just like, I'm proud of you. And so he said that the day after I had my breakdown / breakthrough. And then just 2 days ago or yesterday, I can't even, whatever.
Yeah.
Just within 48 hours ago,
Yeah.
literally said to me, your dad would be so proud of you.
Oh.
Just like, guys, he just came out and said it. And I was just like,
wow.
Thank you.
That gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, like he just, and even now I'm still like, slightly tearing up because it was, yes, I needed to hear that.
You did.
I just needed to hear that.
You did, yes.
And it came after I had my episode, after I started healing, but I still needed to hear it.
Wow.
And so
that's a message in there too, like sometimes we just got to get through all of the mess, right? Like you had to go through that little tiny period of mess to be open and raw and just feel the feelings, like giving yourself the permission to feel. That's like the constant sentence I told her during our call. That it was like an emergency call, right? Like we just hopped on the phone and I say, hey, I'm here for you. Like, let's talk about this. It's not just always about tactics and strategies. It's sometimes this stuff here. That we got to get past and burst through those income ceilings. And I kept saying, I said, you just need to give yourself permission to feel, Angela. Just pause for a moment and feel. And look at that. When she actually gave that space, she still got what she really wanted in the first place. You know what I mean? At the other side, she heard those exact words because she even shared that to me. So I know that's not a lie because she said that I just want to hear my dad say he's proud of me, And so that's so powerful, Angela.
And I didn't even tell you that part because it just happened.
Exactly. I didn't know about the other end of this. Like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And I'm so thankful and honored to be part of that process. And it's just such an honor to just see you grow. I definitely even seen a shift in the way you even post online. I've been following Angela for about a year or two-ish, close to like a year and a half. Yeah. And like her posting is just so powerful now, very influential. You could tell that she's like owning everything. Not that she never owned what she's done, but you could just tell by the post now. She's like, I mean business. I'm out here and I want to help you. I want you to get financial freedom ASAP. So let's talk about what you have available right now. Maybe someone that's listening today, they need that financial breakthrough from an investment standpoint. What is it, something that you can provide to them or get them started on their journey so that they can maybe connect with you further?
Absolutely. So for me, I told you before that I really work for helping to liberate folks from the rat race. You can do this in many different ways. Entrepreneurship. But I love the stock market because it's open when you're not. It literally makes money.
That's so true.
It is. It's a beautiful thing knowing that you own, we're doing Facebook ads and all that. And I own Facebook. Like, I'm getting paid from that. Yeah. And so one of the biggest things folks think is that they can't afford to invest. So if you go to my website, there literally is opt-in right now. And it's called 20 stocks worth $20 or less with dividends, right? And this is huge because hey, these are good quality companies that you can invest with for the price of a bottle of wine. Wow. Right? The bottle of wine, yes, you may get a couple laughs while you're drinking it. Maybe even a hangover the next. But guess what? When you own a company, when you own stock, guess what? It's with you for as long as you want it. I've had companies with me for like 10 years.
Wow.
And they've literally tripled, quadrupled in value. And I didn't do anything.
No.
I just let it sit and grow. Yeah. And so this is what I want for folks. I want them to just let their money sit and grow. Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in that, I'm sure Erica will put the actual link somewhere.
That's right.
You go to AngelaEMatthews.com and there is a little gift for you.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for sharing that. And definitely get to that link, Queen. You need that ASAP. Invest, invest, invest. It's open more doors than you think of wealth and freedom in your lives, on top of you monetizing, right? And you know, Angela's a part of the position to influence incubator, intensive, whatever way you want to call it, but it's mainly an opportunity for you to accelerate your business income. So if you are really looking to do that in 2019, if you really want to hit these 10K months, if you want to do something like what Angela's done, she's done 50K in 8 weeks, then you for sure need to be connecting with me somehow, some way. We need to talk further. We got to figure out, how can we create a more magnetic message? How can we get you out there and posting in more of an influential way? And how can we increase your income in under 90 days? All right. So definitely connect with me on that. But Angela, I thank you so much for just sharing your brilliance. I mean, you've given a lot of great nuggets today for these queens. I'm sure that they're going to be able to just float on with just at least something that they heard from your story today, and elevate them to show them that this is so possible. It's so possible. So thank you again. And everyone, we will see you all another time. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.